Welcome back, guys. It's your boy Rod again. So now today I'm gonna talk about my car journey. Now from the first car I got to the 2018 M3 competition that I have now. So let's jump right into it, and let me let you guys know how I came amongst all these things and why I decided to switch cars. So in 2010, when I graduated from high school, right? The first thing that was on my mind was to buy a car, because in South Florida, everything is far. So like the bus, the transportation is like, yo, and it's hot. So you don't want to be waiting for the bus for like 2 hours, because you be out there sweating. So I decided that I had to find a way how to get a car. So what I did was I got financial aid. I was going to the city college around here, and I got money back. Now, I was supposed to spend that money on books, but I bought a car. Now, let me tell you how I got my books still. I paid maybe like 3 or 4 people, maybe like $50. And I said, hey, you guys go hold this down. Let me borrow your book. I went, I photocopied all the pages, and I made my own book so that I could, keep the money and eventually get a car. So exactly what I did. Maybe like the summer passed, I'd say about by October. Mind you, it was actually on the day of Halloween that I bought that car. October 31st, 2010. I bought a 1995 Honda Civic. Now, that car was the worst. Oh my God. Mom told me not to buy it. I didn't care. I loved it. I just had to have that car. So I bought it. My friend was there, good, strong support. And after we bought the car, I gave the guy $1,800 because that's what I spent on the car. We decided to drive it to like 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee to celebrate. I didn't have any plates or anything on the car, but I was like, hey, it's around the corner. What the heck? Let's be safe. Jumped in the car, man, that thing wasn't starting. I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna tell my mom I spent $1,800 on a car and it can't start? It's not going anywhere. So eventually, after trying it a few times, it started, and I moved it in to the complex that we were living at that time. So eventually I took it to a shop, met some people, they kind of fixed it. It was the fuel pump, it was all messed up. So changed it out, car drove fine. Had a bunch of problems for being an old car, but hey, it is what it is. Throughout the years, I modded it, did some things to it. Now it's actually completely restored. It's no longer red, it's white, and it's really custom. I did the pink engine bay, and you guys will see a complete video separately about that car and where it came from. I think the whole idea behind why I did a pink engine bay, it's because I lost an aunt to breast cancer. So in the video, you're gonna see all the colors and the ribbons in the bay, and it's really cool. So stay tuned for that video as well. Fast forward to 2015. So this is 5 years after driving this Honda, putting a couple $1,000s in it, working my life to fix this car and to set it, because there was always these really nice ones that I kept seeing around, and my friends had like B series and K series engines, and I was just like, man, I'm over here driving around in a single cam and everybody was beating up on me. So that's what kind of inspired me to do my build. So fast forward to 2014. So 2014, I had a job. I was working for AT&T at that time, and I was the top salesman in the building. So I decided that, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time for a new car. So I actually found like a used 2011 Lexus IS250 that I was gonna buy. And I remember the day of going to look at the car, the lady called me and told me it was sold. So I was so sad, I ended up going to the Lexus dealership. Now in the back of my head, I'm like, let me just go drive one of these new cars just to get the feel for it, because I'm not gonna walk out of here with a $43,000 car. So the guy takes me on a test drive, and I'm falling in love with the car. And then he comes back to me, and by the way, I feel very strongly about having good credit. So at that time, I was young, I didn't have a bunch of debt, and we ran the numbers. Man, he came back, he was like, it's $530 a month with $1,000 down. I was like, that's it? To drive that car? And I was like, do you guys have a white one with red seats? Man, the guy was like, yeah, it's coming tomorrow. I was like, I'll do it right now if you could get that deal. 5 minutes later, he comes back and he's wrapping everything up. And I'm like, oh my God, I just bought my first $43,000 car. So I was so excited about it. I ended up taking it home, showed my mom and my brother. They went back, they bought 2 Lexuses the same day. Oh my God, this thing is like, you know, it's like when you buy a new car and you have family members in the house, it kind of triggers everybody to try to go and get a deal. So that's one of the things that happened. So had that car for about 2 months, ended up meeting this Lexus group, the Lexus Boys in South Florida, very famous. And you know, I met my really good friend Kevin. He works for Vossen wheels, and he hooked me up on a set of wheels. We got suspension for the car. We lowered the car, man. The IS was looking crazy. You know, I had red wheels on it, I had silver wheels on it, I had gray wheels on it. I probably had like 7 different sets of wheels on this car. Man, this thing was sick. I ended up, after a buddy of mine traded out of his lease to get a GS, I ended up getting his carbon fiber skipper kit from Japan. Ended up putting that on the car. Man, this thing is looking sweet. And then I actually moved from AT&T to working for a car dealership, and I started making more money. And guess what I did when I had the opportunity? I got a new car right after that. Never thought in a million years that I would change a new car for another new car, not even like a year and a half in. So I got this really amazing deal. I was working at the dealership and I got a 2016 RC350 F Sport, white, red interior, the 2-door. That thing just released. I worked at the dealer, so they gave me a really good deal. I was like, yeah, let me trade out of this. Ended up getting that car within a month. I lowered it on wheels. I sold all the parts from my last car because, you know, I had like a little fan base of people who loved how the car looked. So when I posted this stuff for sale, it sold immediately. So after dropping the car, I had that car for maybe another year, you know, and I tell you that RC was cool. It was slammed on wheels. The fitment was right. Vossen even did a photo shoot of that car. It was looking good, man. One thing I didn't like about it though, it was a coupe, so the door was heavy as heck. I mean, that thing would slam back, and if your leg is there, it'll cut that thing off. That's how bad it was. The door was really heavy. So I started doing really well at work in the car sales industry, and I got my opportunity to buy my first BMW M3. Now, let me tell you guys how cool this is, okay? I actually went on the computer and spec'd it out, down to window shades in the car, right? $77,800 the car. Went to the dealership, handed them a sheet of paper, and they built the car exactly the way I wanted. I mean, to the T. It was a 6-speed manual. I mean, this now, mind you, this is back in 2016. I never had a car like this expensive in my life, and I did not know what it felt to have a car with like almost 500 horsepower. This is a 424 to be exact. So went to the dealership, ordered it, took 2.5 months. Not a little bit more than that. It was like 3 months because it came in and then we were having like a little hurricane, so they kind of like stopped everything, but it wasn't really serious, and I got the car like almost 3 weeks late. But nonetheless, I was happy. I was thrilled. I didn't even get to drive this car when I went to the dealer because these things were so hot. Like they were like, no, nobody drives the M3. You just gotta buy it. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. You don't gotta buy it if you don't want. This is a different level of car. I was like, oh my God, that even made me want it more. Excuse me. So I got that car. I sold all the parts from the Lexus. I was like, I gotta hook this car up. So maybe like a month and a half later, you know, I told Kevin I was getting a car. He hooked up the wheels. I got suspension for it, and I lowered the car. Man, I had a front lip, everything. That thing was clean orange with like Silverstone seats, so they were almost like white, no tints on it. I mean, that car was sick, man. Got that car, ended up going through about 4 sets of wheels on it. I curbed 2 of them. One of them the sidewalk was falling out. That was my fault. And the other one, I fell asleep coming home late. So yeah, I never told anybody that. So this is the first time. Yeah, Kevin, that's what really happened. And then the third set, I just ended up doing it like another color and just end up selling it and moving to like new work wheels for the BMW. Those were really nice as well. I even put them on the new BMW that I had, and I just recently sold them. So yeah, so I had this amazing car. I ended up getting a tune for the hookup, the Burger tune in the JB4. I did downpipes on the car. Man, now this car's making like 550 horsepower. It's a 6-speed manual. Man, I shouldn't be telling anybody this, but the fastest I've been in that car was 175, and I just let it roll out till it went back to like 80 miles an hour. But I will never go that fast again. But listen, that thing, when it hooked on the road, man, that thing was moving. So fast forward to like 2018, I started working for BMW, and they gave me the opportunity to trade out of my car to get another car. And guess what I did? I did that. I traded out an orange one. I got a white one. Now this one is a competition, so it's a little bit different from the one I had before, and this one's also dual clutch. So I mean, the transmission sounds crazy. It's almost like a PDK from the Porsche. Like, man, when that thing like goes high up in gear and starts switching, it sounds crazy. I did carry over the suspension and the downpipes from the other car with the wheels. Had rocked those for a little bit, and then ended up selling them to someone and getting a new set of wheels. So you guys will see like a little I guess cinematic video after with that car. It's sick, man. So make sure you're still watching so you can take a look at it. It is sick. Personally, my favorite, because it's white with the red, and all my other cars are white with red, but I just mainly went with an orange one just to be a little bit different. But now I kind of went back to my roots for that color. So yeah, that's kind of like my car journey here with these cars that I had, and it was an amazing experience. So again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to listen to the experience that I had with the cars. And yeah, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and comment below. Okay, also don't forget to check out the videos in the future. I am going to post a full video breaking down the M3 that I have and the full build on the Civic, so stay tuned for that and don't miss out. So thank you guys again, and welcome to the channel once again.
I have designed this speaker to amplify my thoughts so people will quit asking me for sandwiches. That should work, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, Space Ghost.
Go ahead,
My
Mozart.
show was...
You with sticks till you fell down. Remember?
You sure I didn't harness the power of the sun?
No, it's definitely sticks. Beaten with sticks.
All right. How's it going, man? Ow! No! Ow! Ow! Not there! Ow! Ow!
Are you still here?